Hello, all. Welcome to the Sports Breakdown. Today, I'm joined by Bhasker sir here. We are analyzing India's stupendous victory at Centurion versus South Africa. It's been a very good year for Team India, I can say, starting with that marvelous Sydney defiance that we had to draw that game, followed by the very much historic, I'd say, the Gabba victory, the England series, and now concluding 2021 with that Centurion victory here. So let's go and see how exactly the this game at Centurion panned out. I know, just like Gabba was at for Australia, Centurion was a fortress for South Africa, where they have from 26 Test matches they had won 21, and the two losses were against England and Australia. That England loss, yes, everybody knows it was a bit and Hansi weird captaincy that was kind of debatable, anyways. But only the South Australia loss was actually a very convincing loss, I'd say. So a big victory for Team India under Virat Kohli here at Centurion. So let's begin our discussion on how the entire game panned out, starting from day one. Bhasker sir, as we saw, finally Virat Kohli won the toss and chose to bat first, which shows some great intent and positive way of thinking to on a decent pitch which had some good bounce and carry, bit of moisture to start with. Team India won the toss. Everybody was having a debate whether Shreyas Iyer and Hanuma Vihari, who had a very good India A outing, would be considered for the very much debatable position of Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. So, your thoughts on that? We are joined by Venkat, by the way. Here.
Yeah,
Hi, Venki.
Hello.
Good day.
Hey guys.
yeah. So I think for the lineup, I was pretty
Yeah,
much sure that they will go for the three main batsmen, which is Pujara, Kohli, and Rahane. To me, it was most about the number six, whether they will go for a bowler or not. Which
yeah,
obviously Rahul, 2 days ahead of the game, had said that. The reason why I thought that Pujara would not be dropped was that because I think India had like eight century partnership this year, and even though he's averaging 20 odd, he was part of those 400 partnerships. So his job is obviously to eat up the balls and give the choke makers that way. So he was never in a doubt. Rahane, obviously, there was a lot of hints given. Rahul was made the vice captain in that way. But I think we saw in last series also, right, that when the what Rahane does very well is that he comes in counter attack, right? And even if you look at in the Melbourne second inning when you were chasing, he came and he plays a very high risk game in that
yeah,
way. But I think he backed his game against the pace. And even in the first inning, you saw actually he was one of the top after this guy after Rahul. He was the second highest team scorer for India across the both innings. So I think
yeah,
I was never in doubt that those two will get dropped. Also that there were a lot of chatter because to be really honest. Iyer does not have a record outside India. Even like he has
yeah,
hardly played any first class games, and it would be very a big risk. And if Rahane was not doing well, so I was not surprised by those choices. Obviously, the big choice was Shardul Thakur versus Vihari versus Iyer in that way
yeah,
because the other three were there, and I think. So to me, the batting lineup was pretty much there, and then they had taken a big risk with playing a less batter. But I think that's
yeah.
the way it panned out. It worked out well for them. Yeah.
I think as the word they like to use, that's a template. Like they want to follow five batter, five bowlers, and then wicket keeper, and along with an all rounder in Shardul or Jadeja, whoever is available. Vicky, your thoughts on the team 11 that India picked, as well as even what South Africa did? Because I know we came to know later that Dwayne Oliver had this COVID symptoms or whatever. But were you surprised initially with Marco Jansen's picking up?
I was more surprised of Andrik Nokia not being there.
I mean, Andy
That
Tonke was
was
injured.
Injured, right? He was
and
still
like
for a season.
it took see to be honest, like being an Indian fan, injury it's injury. I don't
That's
believe these
Nikhil you're talking
injuries.
about.
Yeah. So
Just before that, Ashu has
these
said
are supreme
Shardul has played
athletes.
five and not lost any test yet. Needless to say, Lord. Yeah, yeah. Lord Shardul has that impressive record. Hope he maintains that as long as possible, Ashu.
True. And like adding to what Bhaskar sir said, I get it. Like, bit Iyer does not have uh, a international record, but we did go with such risks when it came to Pant. We gave him an option. We gave him
Hmm.
that.
No, Pant had a
Even
very good record. Pant had triple centuries in international,
Ranji
not
Trophy, yeah.
outside, but Ranji
yeah,
Trophy.
even
But
for that matter, Iyer has scored a lot of centuries. Domestic
yeah,
circuit before, I think Agrawal and Iyer were like they were breaking down doors. And at
Yeah.
time, Agrawal got selected first
Hmm.
yeah, but
from the
Agarwal was
national team.
But
opener.
that was required. I think we needed an opener at that time. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
later
that's
on,
why
it's pretty
Agrawal got
much.
selected.
Yeah.
Iyer has done
No,
tremendously
but
well in
also
the
yeah,
domestic.
But what also, if you look at Agarwal's selection, right, it was in a mid series when somebody fails. At the start of the
Hmm.
series, it was not blooded, right?
Yeah.
Bihari also made mid series debut. So India will definitely make a change if somebody does not do well in the middle of the series. But start
Hmm.
of the series, they always go with the
Yes, tried and tested, experienced players, I would say.
yeah.
I mean, same thing. What I was thinking, Ashu has said, Keshav Maharaj should not have played. They should have played an extra pacer or a proper all-rounder or a batter. Yeah, because Centurion generally is one of the least favoring for spinners in South Africa. So even I was a bit surprised with Ashwin inclusion also. By the way, with the recent trend that he is having, maybe I was thinking maybe an extra batter, a Vihari or a Iyer, or maybe another pacer in Ishant or Umesh maybe.
But if you see Keshav's performance in South Africa,
Hmm.
considering the pitches they have, he's been done very really well. So
No,
why
with
would
respect
they
to
not?
Centurion, I am talking Venki. Other places, yeah, I agree.
Ha,
Yeah.
but you cannot put that way. Na? When you're playing a team, you cannot say, oh, Ashwin plays great in India. No, no, but Kotla pitch is not spinning that well, so we'll not pick Ashwin. That doesn't work that way. In the end, it's like, okay, domestic series Maharaj does well, so they will have to pick Maharaj. And what reason would you give to a South African cricket board to not select Maharaj just because it's Centurion?
No, but they can do that, right? I think my thinking
Yeah,
is that obviously one Keshav Maharaj obviously is a very experienced thing
yeah,
that way, not injury free, so it's always a backup, right? And also with the overrate fines and going on and the points to go, I
yeah,
think everybody has to play a spinner now just to
I think that is the actual reason of
yeah,
Maharaj
yeah. I
and
mean,
Ashwin
we are
both
missing
included.
Jadeja in that sense.
yeah. So
Oh,
but
everyone was missing Jadeja. Because
Hmm.
if Jadeja was there, this situation is done.
Yeah.
We have our bowling lineup all sorted.
Hmm.
yeah, no,
And
but I think
Jadeja's batting
Jadeja,
also
yeah,
adds a value,
Jadeja.
adding a left-hander.
Yeah, I think Jadeja is right now one of the best. He's definitely the best middle order batsman we have because Kohli,
Exactly.
Pujara, Rahane all are averaging into 20s right now. I think
Right.
if Jadeja were there, obviously it would have been tricky to Ashwin to play. But I thought Ashwin also batted quite well. Like
Hmm.
the 20s he scored, they were like whoa. I think when India were batting, I'm jumping ahead, but I think.
Hmm.
India will continue to play Ashwin. The reason why I also think is that South Africa has a lot of new batters, in the team like the fresh
Yeah.
batter Keegan Peterson is there, Mulder is there, and I think
Hmm.
if the pitch has got slightly more support or third or fourth innings, I think Ashwin is just going to be very, very effective in that way.
I think we may see the best of Ashwin at Cape Town, I feel, honestly, rather than Centurion or even Joburg for that matter.
Yeah,
That's more dry up, which I'll say. I think, as Ashu says, Keshav Maharaj, I don't see any requirement for him at Joburg. They may go with, I think if Oliver is fit, he may come in and slot instead of
Possible.
Maharaj. Yeah.
no, but
Just
Ashwin
looking at the
also.
stats of Maharaj at Centurion, the guy has
Uh,
Hmm.
played 5 test matches and has got only 3 wickets. So makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah, yeah. I think
Ashu says if Jaddu was there, Ash would not have played. I think we all know and we have seen the past few records, Ashu, that what happens if Sir Jadeja is available. So I think since he's not there, good for Ash. He bowled well actually. Got
He
those last
bowled
couple
well.
of wickets. Yeah. So it was
yeah.
nice to see. It wasn't like he was just filling up the overs or anything. He was actually trying a few things, getting that little extra bounce, trying lots of his usual variations. So nice to see our Ash Anna, as we call, do well.
See the
So let's
fact that
start with the
he picked a wicket on that pitch. That
yeah, see,
itself
end
is
of
an
the day, wicket's
achievement.
a wicket, man. I mean, he's just eight short of Kapil Dev's record, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, that
So
way
we should,
actually, even if you look at Rabada and Janssen picked up pretty cheap wickets at the end of the
yeah.
season.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, India was just going for it, man, throwing all their
Yeah,
things just to declare fast or maybe get all out.
yeah.
Sir and Lord combo will work anywhere at the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
No, but I
that's the
don't think.
com.
I think Thakur is never going to play like a test in India. Like it's very difficult for him to play
Yeah,
test
yeah.
in India. Yeah,
True, true.
Unless it may be a Dharamshala or something like that, where
No, no,
pitches
no.
are kind.
Umesh Yadav is the first choice.
yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
No,
with
because nowadays you don't know about the injuries or the COVID situation. I mean, yeah, yeah. Unless those factors come into picture, I don't actually see Shardul play in India.
See,
So,
India, we
or
don't
if
have
they're
injuries.
rotating,
We have niggles.
one and the same. Let's not talk about that. Let's
Mm.
begin on day one. How impressed were you with the opening partnership from the Karnataka boys, Lokesh Rahul and Mayank Agarwal? I mean, first time outside Asia in the first test of the series, first session, India has not lost a wicket since ages. I have seen with all even our Gambhir, Sehwag days. Very rare did we see no wicket loss. It's a 60-70 run opening session, go on to 117 for no loss. I think that's where I think half the game was put into
Yeah.
India's favor. I'll say.
Yeah, so I think obviously they were leaving very well. I think one thing which happened in South Africa is that the pitches are even bouncier than Australia, right? And
Yeah.
what previous batsmen were not able to do was that leave on length, because even the ball is on middle stump, and we saw so many times the leg before, like ball hitting them in line in the stumps, but just going over all the time. And I think I read in Rahul's interview today where he said that he has gone back and he's enjoying his defensive game, leaving his
Yeah.
getting the kick. And I think this is like the second century which he has made. And I think in England also, most of the India, both the matches won were because him and Rohit Sharma gave such a good start
Yeah.
going into that. So obviously very disciplined. I think also South Africa were guilty. Maybe they were rusty. They had not played Rabada. Apparently Rabada and Nikiti had not bowled any red ball overs for last 6 months in that way, and it was showing that their length was not there. And I think what happens is that, and we see so much with England also when they go to Australia, right? That when you are slightly not confident, you don't want to go for runs, and then you stop pitching the ball up. And I think it was the easiest session, a because they were not in form, and number two, also the pitch they said was playing slowly. As we saw, the pitch actually went faster and faster, and that's why Kohli's decision and the toss became very important
Mm.
overall. So I think combining all those factors, I think what also India had the luck, but they made the most of the luck and going in having a day one as they had in Centurion.
I
Like
mean, just
maybe
looking.
an
Yeah.
a bit of uh, like a unpopular opinion here, but Agrawal was way better than Rahul in the first day. I mean, he got out for that LBW for that uneven bounce. He did not expect it to
How
clip.
sure were you that was hitting the stumps?
I was completely unsure. Like, what was that?
No, but
Ah.
Venkat, do you think my Agarwal is playing better? Because I honestly think that Agarwal got a lot of slightly easier balls. When every
Mm.
bowler
Yeah,
was
yeah,
coming in, he got some few leg stump half volleys, and his strike rate was better. But I wouldn't say he was playing better than Rahul, because Rahul was also in control of most of the shots in that way. It was just like the luck of the draw where he was doing, and
yeah,
obviously he was
yeah.
playing at a faster rate in that way.
Yeah.
But I would like to give credit to the batsman also. Even whenever
Yeah.
there was a bad ball, it is important to strike them as well.
Yes.
To
Yes.
choose the balls. Though Rahul
No.
did not get that many balls, yes, but it was his capability again to make sure that he's not missing good balls and keep the scoring up.
Yeah, and Agarwal, we know that he's coming back on a back of 150 and a 60 run. So
Yeah.
he's in form, his
He's in.
confidence
Yeah.
is there. And I think this match will do very well for him also, because I think India is now got the upper hand in the series. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, opening combo always at the overseas test dictates how well the middle order performs. I mean, how impressed were you with Rahul's ability to leave those just outside of
Ah,
stump balls? I think that's where again his game has improved a lot. Previously, we used to see is just poke it towards the slip cord and anything. Here, he was very disciplined, keeping the bat hidden and leaving it almost fourth, fifth stump. Man, I know we can have compare with someone who is having a flirt at 11th, 12th stump nowadays and getting nick behind, but to even have that ability to just restrain himself at the fourth, fifth stump shows a lot of maturity from KL Rahul's batting, I'll say.
Yeah, I
very
think
true.
Rahul obviously he was leaving a lot of balls, and this is all about Test cricket, right? That
Mm.
you start leaving the balls in the close to the outside off stump, and bowlers try to pitch in your stumps, and then you score the runs in that way. And I think
Mm.
that is what they were doing. They're playing classic Test cricket, making the bowlers bowl to them, and then that's how it is there. Also, I think with what we saw was Jansen in his first spell he was quite loose, right? He was not bowling that well. So I think that is where they took a toll. So they did not let the pressure get to them and of the slow run rate, because they knew that once they bat the first two sessions, the third session is going to be very easy, and that's what happened at the end.
I mean, thoughts on Virat Kohli in the first innings? He was looking pretty decent, I'll say, until he got out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
fifth
think Virat
innings.
is now in he is not out of form, I would say. I
No,
think what is happening is that
of course, sir.
he has got his problem now going in, and it happens to, and this is a big debate, that is Virat out of form, or is it a natural decline which is happening at 33, 34. So I think he needs a big knock going in there somewhere. But overall, I think Virat is still a very solid batsman, because
Yeah.
he gives a lot of confidence to the team, and then he's also scoring 30, 35. He's not like in like a big slump, I would say.
Sir,
So it
don't you
just,
think somewhere his patience is what, or the ego that the bowlers are playing on? They're just bowling him a couple of tight overs, giving him that wide off volley, almost tempting him. And that's where I think he's losing out. If he just controls what like Rahul has done, just leave it and let them come to him, he'll have a better chance to score rather than trying to be more proactive in his game. I think that's where his downfall is coming,
Yeah,
I feel,
but I
honestly.
think also like there are two factors. Like I read a lot about it. First of all, if you look at it, he has gone through these phases. You know, in
I
England,
think,
for
as you say, he's out
uh,
of form or out of runs.
yeah.
I
So
think the
one is
David
that,
Warner
yeah,
relation comes in.
Well, I don't know out of runs because if you see the runs he scored, I mean across formats, this guy has
Yeah,
almost hit 1,000 runs
yeah,
this year.
yeah,
So
no,
it's not out of runs; it's
no.
just
So the
out of
point,
form.
the
yeah.
point I was saying that if you look at it, the 2018-17 series in England, right? He
Hmm.
played a missed a lot against Anderson, and then he was like missing so much, but he was not nicking those balls. I think what is
Hmm.
happening, either maybe he's in too much informed that he's nicking the good ones, but but I would say that both the dismisses were pretty predictable, like
Hmm.
angling across and he going and hitting that. I think he will have to do something like what Sachin did, that stop playing cover drive, or
Yeah.
just for a session, not like the whole
Hmm.
innings, where he
I think
just
I
decides.
think who Vikram Rathore said it, right? Picking the right balls to hit rather than not at all going for a cover drive. Just show a little bit of patience. Let the ball come to him. Once he's really set, I think he can go for that booming cover drive rather than in somewhere when he's still not 100% set, I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that he'll have to change something. So you have to make a conscious decision that I will not
Hmm.
uh, play anything outside my off stump, or I will only play on the leg side or straight in that way. And then once the session evolves, then you have to do. But he'll have to make a change, because right now what is happening is that it's like a pretty much template which is happening, where he's not able to kind of make use of the starts he's getting. Because
Hmm.
what is happening right now is that if you look at his innings, right, at the start of the innings he's very compact, he's very defensive. Obviously, India is always
Hmm.
in a very
Hmm.
critical situation, so he's playing in within himself. And then when the things become easy, then he's kind of going there. So I think what he has to kind of figure it out is, or he goes really aggressively. That's the other way to go. Yeah.
So just before that, I think the Under 19 Asia Cup final is happening. India versus Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka are in a bit of soup at 73 for 7 by the way, Aman. Bit questionable decision, I would say, from Sri Lanka Under 19 to bat first. I know they won the last couple of games batting first, but in morning conditions when there is a bit of dew, or and I heard there's some overnight rain also there. So even though it's a final, people like to bat first. Bit iffy decision with respect to Sri Lanka to bat first on that dampish pitch. I mean, India are all over them right now.
I think the
Yeah,
confidence came from the semi-finals where
yeah.
they managed to restrict Pakistan.
I mean, two different things I'd say. The bowling attack, uh, play the cover drives in the nets and leave them in the match. Advice to Virat. So, okay, Ashu, hope if Virat Kohli or some management is seeing our show, hope they do pass on this message to Virat because
But
everyone is concerned because we need our captain in run so that we can see the best of him, man. I mean, we are seeing that aggressive self on the field, but with the bat, I think it's 2 years since no tons. So let's see, not just a ton, but a damn good score. Let's see him perform well.
but
Here,
I'll tell
Ashu
you
against,
something.
yeah,
We are talking so much because it's Virat Kohli.
yes, I agree.
Let's not forget
Expectations.
that. Yeah, the expectations are a bit too high. And but other thing is, why are the current players not willing to go back to domestic?
No, but where's the time to play
Where's the
domestic?
time? Yeah,
Like,
They take the
where,
time all the way when you're taking a okay. I
no,
anytime Virat like no, I want to spend some time with my family, this and that, and he
yeah,
takes break. I'm saying
yeah.
take the same time and go play a Dulip Trophy,
No, but
go
I
play a
think
Ranji Trophy.
no, but I think that logic has gone, Venkat. You
yeah,
look at how India, if you look at it when they came to South Africa, also they did not play any warm up game. They were
yeah.
doing like center
Center
wicket
wicket
practice,
practice. Yes. Yeah.
and then they are well prepared and they go and with this. So I think what has happened is that the I think the gap and the domestic schedule also. You know, last year there was no
Hmm.
Ranji
Hmm.
Trophy. This year the Ranji
Hmm.
Trophy is just starting, and which pool Delhi is in, he'll have to go. I think now once you become this elite player, for them playing the domestic cricket is nearly impossible. The only domestic cricket which I see Indian players playing is
IPL.
no, no, not IPL, but I'm saying for the first time, either county cricket or the India A
Hmm.
circuit. So if you look
Yeah.
at it, that those are the two only avenues where you can actually go and play, until unless you are dropped, right? Then you have to go and
Yeah.
really perform in domestic cricket. But
And
otherwise,
also, sir, for someone like a Virat or such elite players, as you say, I don't know how much they will be tested in the domestic circuit with the quality of bowling.
yeah.
They may feel they are not so, even if they get a 50 or a 100, they may not feel like that was a worthy practice or anything. Just runs in the middle may be the only
Yeah, that is the
addition.
thing, na.
Yeah.
At least gets the runs in the middle, get that stroke. That is what it's for them.
Don't you think that may lead to a false confidence also, Venki? Where
See,
he may go first ball, go for a cover drive then.
but my point is, false confidence only comes into the point when the person does not have the caliber.
No, yeah, no, but that Ranki, if you look at it, if you looked at Virat Kohli's interviews also, he
Hmm.
treats practice and net sessions also very
Yeah,
specifically.
Very
He's not going
specific.
just knocking the ball. He's just saying that okay, I'm going to simulate a situation and play like that. So I don't think playing domestic cricket is going to help in that way because
No,
there's no time, and then the way the schedule and structure is there with bubbles and mental health factors right now. It
mm,
just I think it's we are drawing, as you said, that the expectations are too high, but he's averaging 20s in the last 2 years in
hmm.
Test cricket.
mm,
So, but also the other point is that he has not looked bad, like out of form or
yeah,
like really struggling, or his strike rate is really bad. And even these two innings which he was there, till he got out, he was looking pretty much in control and kind of the best batsman on show, right? In terms of the control
True, true,
percentages.
true.
Yeah,
yeah.
so I don't. I would think it's just a matter of time in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but the issue with Bhaskar sir is this matter of time has gone too long now.
Mm.
That, and just because we are talking so much because it is Virat Kohli. The other
See, I
players he
think the
wouldn't even batted
same
an eye.
debate was with when Sachin also, man. I know it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
year and a half, but we
See,
know
that's
what
where I'm
happened
coming.
later. So just give
That's
them
where
a
I
bit
was
of
coming,
a.
Rohan. Sachin
Uh,
went to the domestic circuit.
See, there was time then, and also the conditions nowadays wasn't what was then. So for that COVID factor, also it comes into picture. Or else, do you think someone like a Virat Kohli or even a Pujara will not go into domestic cricket and grind out their time?
I don't
So
even know when was the last time Pujara played a domestic match.
No, no, he's
last year
playing.
he played
Yeah,
against Karnataka. Man, he got out. He got nicked off. He didn't walk. We had to give him a send off later. So don't ask about Pujara and domestic cricket with
yeah,
respect to
all those guys are
Karnataka.
playing only like I think Rahane also played. People
Everyone plays
who
apart from
Rane
Virat.
played. Dhawan
Yeah.
is
because
playing well, really well.
yeah, so you have to be like if you are not playing like maybe now if he has some time he's not if he's dropped from one team because all these players they are not playing all three formats of the game,
Yeah.
right? So when Kohli is taking a break, taking off choice. He's not
Mm,
like being dropped by the
true.
team in that way. But Pujara, Rahane, all these guys they are not in the teams half the time, right? So they have got a lot of time
Yeah.
to play.
Ashu here says spare a thought for Vihari was sent to South Africa to play the A series to get acclimatized to the conditions. Now he'll be sent to England to get acclimatized. Ashu, I think we just discussed that unless that sixth batsman template comes in, Vihari or Iyer may not get a chance with this lineup that we have. Or only in case if a Pujar or a Rahane gets injured, I'm not even saying dropped, only then a Vihari or Iyer will come in. So that sixth batsman, irrespective who it is, will have to sit out.
But tell
Yeah,
me something. How long of a rope will a Pujara get now?
no, I think Pujara is got
She has
like
done decently, just like Virat only has done, I'll say.
yeah, I don't think Pujara is under threat right now.
Mm,
In my view, I think until unless he has got a because against New Zealand or second innings he scored 40 odd, you know. So
true.
and the other thing which is most important which people forget is that India is winning. Yeah, so we have actually only lost the WTC final, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
Nothing we have lost. So when the team is winning, then they are not going to. And you
true.
should also there's the other big factor which you don't look at, which is happening to England, is that if you disrupt your batting lineup, right, it also has a kind of a
Slip cord.
domino effect on your slip
Yeah.
quarter. Right? You're
Mm,
correct. So your slip catching goes in, and plus the institutional knowledge goes in. So that is why
Mm.
we always are very like the public is always saying okay he's not performing, let's get a
mm,
new player because it's always good in the news in that way. But for a team,
A
if an
team.
organization,
yeah.
and I know you guys work there, for losing a player or a team member who
Mm,
may be having just a bad phase, it's not worth it. You and there's no guarantees, right? Okay, Pujara, Rahane, all these guys are proven performers. Okay, they are they've earned the right to have
yes.
a slump. Whereas there's no guarantee that Iyer comes or Vihari comes in terms of this
And,
thing.
and also, sir, just like what Ashu points out, in case they get dropped, do you think that you see a comeback for them, keeping the age in mind and
No.
that they play just one format? So I think keeping all those factors in mind, I think that's why the long rope has been given from the team management as well as selectors, I'll say. And as you said, they're proven performers for the last few years. So just that one more chance they keep getting, unless maybe it's a very bad series or a bad way they're getting out. So let's hope for the best. Pawan
Yeah,
says, I think Iyer or Vihari should be given a chance to replace Pujara for the next test match. Pujara is, I don't think honestly, Pawan, ki a winning combination will be tinkered around much. So
yeah.
unless
But
again injury or COVID or any such comes up, I actually don't see the changes happening. It will be the same level.
Yeah,
but
and
you
I
think
honestly think,
about a player like sorry Bhaskar, but think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
a player like Priyank Panchal who's been selected in the squad. The guy is playing domestic cricket from 2008.
yeah,
13 years of solid domestic cricket. If we consider a good, like in 100 matches, the guy has scored 7,000 runs. First class.
5,000, I think.
7,000. I have the stats
7,000.
open in front of me.
Okay.
Highest score of 324 centuries, 50 half centuries. The guy has not been even given a single look. And he bats opening and one down. Like
Yeah.
this options, this questions, like that the question of whether a new guy will perform or not will always be there. How
Yeah,
how how well did we support Pant, and look the rewards we're reaping now. I was
yeah,
the
but
biggest criticizer of Pant, but you have to give this chances someday, right?
yeah. So,
Yes.
but I think, yeah, but I honestly think that if Pujara is going to be get dropped, not in this series, next series, the most likely they will play Rohit Sharma, Mayank Agarwal, and Rahul as the top three,
Yeah.
because they are already incumbent. Because and then there's Shubman Gill is also there, who can kind of open, and Prithvi Shaw is there. So they have already got a big people who are kind of incumbents in the whole lineup
Mm.
is there. So for them to for Iyer and all have to come. Like Iyer was very lucky because Vihari was there, and then there was a last minute injury, and then
Hmm.
he made his
True.
debut. Yeah. So
And also, Iyer was lucky that he made his debut in India on familiar
yeah.
Hmm.
conditions.
uh,
So I think that also helped. So just a home series performance to a overseas this thing, I think it's two different chalk and cheese, I'll say. So what is Ashu here? Never know a century here in the coming games by Rahane or Pujara. They'll end up playing 20 whole year. You can't guarantee Ashu. I mean, as I said, if there's an injury or anything, you don't know. All these are hypothetical situations. You hope whoever is picked makes the best of their chances, but you can't hope somebody fails just because somebody else has to get a game or anything. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, let's come back to the game.
yeah.
India first day 270 for 3. I think that's where the game was done after the integrated opening partnership. Also, they had sad for Pujara with that inside edge caught at a strikely
Completely
deepish,
unlucky.
deepish short leg. But then at 270 for 3, everybody thought India would be looking at a 400 odd maybe. But then rain happened on day 2. So I think that kind of changed the whole equation because I know if you see from yesterday's win, generally when India wins overseas, you will see that extremely excited Virat Kohli's extraordinary jumping and celebrations. Yesterday was very formal, is what I'll say. So that shows almost he's expecting the easy win. It wasn't like, oh, we did something extraordinary or anything. It was like a routine fell, right? So I feel that's where the second day washout made India to quicken up the game in terms of either run scoring or even losing wickets at times, going for those shots. So day 3 onwards, don't you think India was like looking to win, whereas South Africa was almost like at a back foot. So day 3, though it was a 50 for 5 collapse, is what people tend to look at. I feel it was good for the game in terms
Yeah.
of result happening. India getting bowled out for 327, I think, was the best thing that happened, and that set up the game for India. Your thoughts
Yeah.
for India's third day performance batting it?
Yeah. So I agree with you that India were looking to that it was good for the game, but I don't think India came into like bowl out
Yeah,
get out in that way. I think India
yeah, yeah.
would have been looking at a innings victory in that if you would have batted till tea. But what happened was the rain was the pitch quickened up, and we saw that when
Extraordinary.
India started bowling, although they were 32 for 4, and then if Rahul had caught
Mm,
that, they would be 32 for 5. And in fact, at
yeah,
that point of time, if you're looking at South Africa, can get bowled out in the evening itself, which
yeah.
they eventually did later on. But I think because of the rain and the covers and everything, the pitch and obviously how the pitch behaved, it was much faster. The uneven bounce came in, and it became very difficult for anybody to bat. And obviously, there were a couple of lucky dismissals. Rahul actually he had couple of half pulls which fell short on the day one, and then he got out of the same shot. And I think what this shows also is that in these conditions, where conditions are tough, the lower order batsmen are very hard to survive. So only when the conditions in the third session got easy. You saw in day one also India scored 115 runs. In day two, Jansen and Rabada and Maharaj all scored runs in that way. But when they were batting in the first and second session, it was very difficult to score. So I think the South African conditions itself helped the match to get over so fast, because
Mm,
it was a very difficult pitch to bat, because we at least when India was bowling and South Africa was bowling, they could have got a wicket every ball. Something was
yes,
jumping, it was going play and miss so many times. So it was just the conditions, and I think that's why day one was so much important, because I think after day one, kind of it, if you remove day one, it was kind of a South Africa actually won the rest of the match. Second inning they scored more than us, and then
Mm.
50 for 5 versus whatever they scored, right? So I think starting slow in the test match costed them big time. And India, obviously, when you're ahead, you don't need to like push it, right? Because you're ahead, you just need to make sure that you're not letting the opposition in, and India did that very well. Yeah.
Just to answer Ashu here, he's saying when is the ODI team going to be announced? I think it was supposed to be today. I'm not sure. Maybe the selector.
It might soon. They might
Yeah,
soon.
unless the selectors are thinking New Year celebrations or anything, we don't know about it. So
Yeah,
let's.
Ganguly
but
is in the hospital, right, for the
Yeah,
virus.
that's why.
possible, possible.
But let's see how it goes. Ashu,
It
this
is
Answering
very
your
is
interesting
previous
because that was
question,
the first press conference after the they did the back. So let's see.
yeah.
answering your
He,
previous question, Rohan, like
mm,
this Centurion pitch has two things very unusual about considering the other positions. Like one is the average run rate on this pitch is about 3,
yeah.
which is very fast considering a test match. We are looking at
Mm.
a 2.2. That's a good. We are talking. We
No,
are
I
talking
think this
about
day and age, it's three is an average, is what I feel.
no, no. Don't talk after what India is doing.
No, no,
I'm
no, no,
talking
no.
consider
I mean,
everyone.
I'm talking in this day and age for two reasons. I'll tell you. Three and over is pretty much an average these days. Secondly, Centurion we have seen in the past also. It's a very high scoring and a fast scoring because it's on the high felt. So
Yeah.
But
ball does travel.
here is the second point. The second unusual point. The average runs that a batsman is getting here is only 25.
Yeah.
So
And that's
yeah,
why KL Rahul, his innings, that century and Mayank Agarwal, what they
extraordinary.
did, that was the only thing that separated the both teams. Both team had
Yes.
good bowlers. Both teams
Yeah.
did same, to be honest. They had
Mm.
20s, 30s. We had 20s, 30s. Here, Agrawal did a 70, Elgar did a 70, we had a 50, they had a 50. We had Rahane had a 48, Bumrah had a 50. It was
This is
all
the
neck to
weakest
neck.
SA team, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah. No, I
Mm.
think I think the pitches where actually there's lot of a fast scoring ground, where low average it goes in because I think if you look at a bandstand mindset, if you know that you are going to get out soon, you might as well hit. That's like what Punch
Hit
was
it.
back then. So
Yeah.
it is like that. So a dodgy pitch will have high scoring anyways because you'll either
Yeah.
get out, you are not going to last long anyways. So either
It's
you
like
Yeah,
it's like before it gets you, let's get them.
yeah,
exactly. So
let's
it
get
all.
runs.
Yeah, Pavan, with respect to QDK, we'll come to that after the discussion about the match. I think Venuja also has the same question here. We'll answer about QDK and talk about him once the game discussion finishes.
So there were a question on whether is the weakest South African team.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were.
If you
uh,
consider, I think they have great
consider batting
players.
lineup
It is
maybe. Yeah,
just the politics and reservation systems and the quotas that's
quota.
the problem.
No, but that is the natural, right? But I honestly think that if you look at the pedigree, this happens to most teams, right? And then South Africa has lost a big player every year since the last 5 years, like De Villiers, Steyn,
Faf,
Faf, and then before that, Philander, Morkel, all these
Stain.
Steyn, yeah. So
Along
all
with that, also consider great players forget leaving from the national team. Great players have not been selected in the national team because of the same quota system.
Yeah,
Take, for example, a Marnus Labuschagne, take a Kevin Peterson,
no, no,
Morne
Labu,
Morkel. These guys
no,
left.
no, but these are like Labuschagne left when he was 10 years old, right? He didn't.
No, no,
yeah,
How can
no,
he
no. I'm,
select?
I'm no, no. The reason why at some point these decisions come into the mind, right? Like he
Yeah.
was already playing cricket when then he left to Australia for whatever reasons it is. But what about a Kevin Peterson? There are many players. The reason is they cannot take more than 4 white guys. I'm not saying
mm.
white guys are better or anything. It's just good players don't get a chance.
No, no, but yeah, which is true. I
KP
don't.
left if you remember.
No,
KP
but
left.
no, which is true. But I think if you look at it, like they just had SGN hearings, and I think you have to also respect that South Africa, nothing is very, very
Hmm.
simple, right? So I think this is the challenge they have because in a long term, if the blacks are represented and inspired, they will have a much stronger team. So they're just going through a transition, and I think if
Right,
you
right.
or
Definitely.
forget about this. Every team, like we know Australia in 2011, 10, 11, they were going through this transition. India at 2012, 13 were going through a transition where your big wigs they always retire. So they also have had this thing, and I think right now what we should also see that besides India, England, and Australia, where the domestic market is very big, the top players are getting $1 million contract. all other
Mm.
countries will keep facing this problem where their and maybe Pakistan to lesser extent, where the players still want to play for Pakistan. Uh, all other countries will face this drain either to now Kolpak is not there, but with the franchise
Mm.
league happening, it's going to happen, and then it kind of alludes to how the Cock's retirement also. But I think
Yeah.
happening to South Africa, to me, is a natural progress. Every country goes through this thing because of the rules which is happening, and I think overall, I honestly think it's good for South Africa in the long term that they are embracing that in that way. And don't forget, the quota system is only about the average in the whole year, so they can actually play matches against Netherlands and Ireland with
Mm.
100% players, and then they can have their test team the way they want it. So and so far, even the last previous few years when they did not actually adhere to the quota, they were not like anything. They were just some reprimand and stuff like that. So there are ways around it. I think besides, obviously it has a domino effect of people leaving, like
True.
Peter or whatnot there. But there are also like a lot of still racism institutional where a lot of black coaches were
Right,
not
right.
in that way. So it
I
works
think I
both.
think they have a committee that's taking case of the old records like Smith and Boucher, etc. have been come under fire. I think for that
Yeah.
reason alone.
I was just googling a list of players who have taken the Kolpak deal out of South Africa. There
Kyle
are
Abbott was
some
there, I think.
huge big names, dude.
Kyle Abbott was
Just
there. Dwayne Oliver.
Joan Olivier was one. Just the
Parnell
recent
was
one.
there, I guess.
Vale
Arnell is
Parnell,
back.
Morne
Arnell is
Morkel,
back.
Merchant de Lang, Riley
Marcin
Rizzo,
Lang.
Kyle Abbott, David Vese, Simon Harmer, Hardest Willion, Richard Levy, Colin Ingram, Alvaro Peterson, Neil McKenzie, Sean Pollock, Fab du Plessis, Justin Kemp.
Wow.
Some big names.
Yeah, but like it also depends
Hmm.
on when they have taken. Fab Duplessis taking a callback deal and Morkel and Pollock doing, they kind of retired, and Amla
Yeah.
also took a callback deal, right? But
Amla, yeah.
they had
Faf
all retired.
Duplessis took callback deal in 2007.
But then he came back to South
Then he
Africa.
came back. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
And if you're
I think
talking
he was
about
coaxed by
recent,
AB de Villiers there.
yeah, yeah.
No, but
But
I think we are also like at outside. It's very easy to say
Talking
that they
about
should not do a
Johannesburg, yeah.
callback deal. I think it for a cricketer, security, and if you have read interviews of say
true,
Johan
true,
Oliver
true.
Hmm.
or Kyle Abbott and all that, it perfectly makes sense because you are not guaranteed a spot because of what we talked about the
Quota.
quota system. So it is kind of makes sense, and Harmer and all these people got very close to playing for England in that way. So
Yeah.
it you are actually trying to balance. I think as a cricketer, and if you look at it, you just want to
It's
play.
a
And
vicious circle. It's a
yeah,
vicious
Yeah.
circle because unless you play good cricket, you won't
And
get
also
good
you're
money.
professionals, man. I think end of the day
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to get opportunities irrespective where it
Yes,
is.
yes,
So
yes.
it's a player's prerogative also, I'll say.
No,
yeah,
no, but in the end, we question the same thing. Now, see, you need to perform good. You need to compete at the top level so that good teams come. For example, India, Australia, that's where the
Hmm.
money comes in.
no,
Yeah.
but
That's where,
also no. Besides that, also I think like if you look at it like right, people like Suresh Raina and all these players who have now not playing international cricket, like they have also come and said that they should be allowed to play franchise leagues, right? But
Hmm.
BCCI is so strong that they are not allowing anybody to do it. But
I think they're allowing only retired players nowadays.
yeah, so you have to
no,
Yusuf
no,
retire.
Pathan.
no, no. If they are allowing, given that you cannot come out of retirement.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
True.
it is done.
No, but
Hmm.
also they are not playing the major domestic league. Like they are playing T10
Hmm.
league or Masters league
Hmm.
or something like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
that money
Legends.
game is there in that way. So anyway, let's get back to the test
Yeah,
match.
let's get yeah, exactly.
Some
So I
questions.
mean, day three, how good was the Indian bowling? Mohammad Shami, man. I mean, we
Fantastic.
saw Jasprit Bumrah twist his ankle, so he wasn't quite available for majority of it. I know Bhasker sir alluded to when Rahul dropped that catch of Decock. They were almost 30 for 4. If he had taken that catch, it was 30 for 5.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if Bumrah was available, they would have been bowled out by 100, max, I'll say.
Yeah, in fact, Virat
So,
Kohli after the match, he said that because
yes.
Bumrah was not there, South Africa got a lot of it, which is true
Hmm.
because in the middle they had overall partnerships. But
Hmm.
I think the flip side is that if you look at it, in the second innings when India had bowled only 46, 47 over, Bumrah had bowled 17, 18 over of them. So they
True.
were able to use him in that way. I think the key thing was that, and that is where the fifth bowler, Shardul Thakur, and all those things come into play, is that
Hmm.
even without one top bowler missing, we were able to sustain pressure and bowl them out
Yes.
for under 200. So in a
Yeah.
way, you have to give this credit to the team selection and how India is following this template overall. And obviously, Shami, we know that he is a totally different bowler for last 2 3 years ever since he's gone back and changed his fitness overall. And to be really honest, if you're watching the match, it
I
was
think
not
that's
a
the key word you use, sir. Fitness.
Fitness.
fitness level has improved drastically
No, in
in
fact, this
terms
is
of yeah.
yeah. So if you look at 2017-18 when India went to England and in South Africa, both those series, India was on top on most of the matches, but we could not sustain the pressure either because of lack of fifth bowler or either because of fitness or people getting tired. And test matches is very simple. Test matches you only replace a bowler when they get tired. Yeah, so
Hmm.
that is there's no like major strategy going on that your best bowlers bowl, and when they get tired, you get your third and fourth bowler. And the thing is that if the ability to come back in the second spell or third spell, which is there. And in India, if you look at it, we did not take the second new ball in both the innings. So, but
Right.
our third and fourth spells were much better, and we were able to sustain the pressures in overall. Yeah.
But also, one more thing unusual about Shami, he took wickets in the first innings.
No, he's been taking first wicket because there was no
he's,
Bumrah,
he's
right? So there were
called
wickets
second
to take.
inning Shami. He's
I
called
mean, I
second
think
inning
I think
Shami.
he got wickets because Bumrah wasn't there. That's why he
Bumrah
was able to
wasn't
get that
there.
fifer. Or else
Yeah.
again it would have been shared 3-4 apiece or
Two
something like
wickets,
that.
three
Right,
wickets, three
Yeah.
right, correct.
wickets.
Yeah.
So good man. I mean, it's good they're getting those chances to showcase their skills in first
But
innings.
imagine this. Imagine this. Your main bowler is not there. Still, like the second in command, if you want to call it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know who is first in command in this team though, but still the guy is he decimated the bowling, the
I
batting
mean,
lineup of South
I
Africa.
think every ball he was bowling looked a wicket-taking ball. He was threatening. That seam position,
Sorry.
you never knew whether the ball was nipping back in or seaming away. Fantastic bowling. Even when the second spell he got those wickets of Mulder and Bavuma. Bavuma set, man. He was looking damn good on that pitch. Apart from
Oh
KL
man,
Rahul, I feel
Decock.
Dick he was a bit flashy. I think,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Decock
So
again both innings he went with a ban inside edge.
yeah, inside
No,
it.
no,
So
but
he
no,
wasn't
but Decock game
convincing.
was like he was missing a lot of balls. He was playing a
True.
very flashy game. It was a matter
Yeah,
of time they will get it with this kind of bowling lineup. I think it's not
exactly.
India. He was playing against Pakistan or even Sri Lanka. He would have
Same.
got out because
Yeah.
now what is happening in world cricket is that every country has got arsenal of fast bowlers, right? Which are 4, 5 fast bowlers. So you look at Australia, England, or New Zealand. They can like swap and change. Matt Henry is not even playing. Wagner is there. So they have got so many bowlers. So
Ferguson.
yeah, Ferguson is there, and then who's the other guy? Who the first guy? Adam Mill. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So every
Good.
country has got 6, 7 very good fast bowlers. Everybody is just bowling heavy ball on the outer lane. It is very difficult to score and come what how the game like Decock or all these guys want to play off like Josh Butler wants to come and hit out.
Mm.
Nobody is going to hit that. And I think what my thing was that this is happening across the world that people are playing five bowlers, which makes it very difficult right now. Pitches are spicy, and the
True.
third thing is that people are much fitter, so they can their third spell, fourth spell is all very there. So there's no
Sir,
easy
I'll
fitness
add
is
one more
separately.
point to that. I think teams
yeah.
are looking for victory because of the WTC points in stake also.
True,
So
true,
the
very
pitches
true.
are being made result oriented.
No, I think pitches obviously have
Pitches
become
are normal. The team is
no,
playing
no,
differently.
no. I
No,
think pitches are
little
also
extra spice.
except if you look at Melbourne pitch from 4 years back and now
Yeah,
it's totally changed. So I think
Melbourne.
yes, yeah. So but I would think the fitness of fast bowlers and also like people may say batsman technique and all that, but I think it is just a matter of like there's no way to defend for a long time. In fact, like I was in one of the podcasts before and people said that if you look at Test cricket now, you don't see cuts at all. Like,
Yeah, back foot punches a lot.
Oh, we are unable to hear you, Bhaskar sir.
I think we lost you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, better.
So what I was saying is that if you look at
Volume went down, right?
So volume is pretty low.
Very low.
can you hear now?
Lot of distance.
No, cannot hear.
We can hear you, but there's a lot of background noise.
Kind
Oh,
of
I don't know.
a static effect.
Oh, okay.
That's a fan and things. Those things come in,
I don't
and
know.
the traffic also.
No, no, there's no traffic here. But anyway,
Traf-
okay.
Actually, from your side, okay.
So can you know, or is the way like?
Yeah, yeah, better now. Bit more
Better, better.
echoish, but fine. Huh.
Yeah, so I was saying that because no, all the bat bowlers are so much fitter and they don't bowl short and wide balls anymore because they are so disciplined. They don't lose focus, right? And because and therefore it's very difficult for everybody to bat and then try to really attack the people.
Okay, so after that fantastic bowling by Shami and Co, India had a 130 run lead. So India then came back. I mean, how surprised were you with India's second innings batting? They did go for runs, but I was more interested in the choice of night watchman that happened at the fag end of the day. Shardul Thakur was sent ahead. I mean, due respect to the term night watchman, I was expecting if in case sent out a night watchman, it would be a Bumrah or someone like that. I mean, Ishant used to be our regular night watchman, but he isn't playing. Or else maybe take a chance and send Pujara in. But Shardul Thakur going in as a night watchman showed that India was also looking to score runs first thing in the morning also. They didn't want a guy who would just block it out and put all pressure on the opponent, I mean, the opposing non-strikers batsman. So, what do you think was the thinking about Shardul Thakur, the batsman? I know he came out, hit a six and a boundary also. He went out playing a same kind of aggressive shot as well. So, your thoughts on Shardul Thakur, the night watchman?
I think if you look at the three batsmen we have right now, Shami, Bumrah, and
Viraj.
Siraj, their defensive technique is not that great, right? Unlike
But
Ishant
Bumrah
or
is improved, don't you think, sir?
yeah, he's improved, but
A
he's
lot.
also like, but he's still like far away from like retaining. I think he's not a defensive batsman. Like Ishant is going to block 25 balls, right?
Hmm.
He blocks two and hits one, right? Even the two innings which we saw where he was going
Hmm.
trying to go and hit. So I think that was the logic that these three, and obviously Pujara chose a night watchman, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
that was the primary reason I would say Thakur would be there. But yeah, it's a good move to have in that way because we have an aggressive batsman going in that way, and Thakur can play defense and attack, whereas all the other three are just attacking, right? So they can't resist themselves. And then I think also their techniques are slightly weaker. So one,
Mm.
I think with Bumrah, Siraj, and Shami, one short ball can we have seen that they can get ruffled a lot, and then
Yeah.
they just start swinging the bat after that. So it's pretty easy to work them out.
But I
True.
have a very contradictory opinion of all this.
Yeah.
What? Why is the concept of night watchman used now? See, originally the
Hmm.
concept of night watchman came because during we did not have light meters, and when there was end of the day, when there is bad light and there's a set
No,
batsman.
no, it was always to protect the number three batsman. They don't. There's nothing
Yeah.
to gain at the end of the
I
day,
mean, it
right? To
depends on the
go.
Aha,
batsman's
the,
choice.
Yeah, yeah.
depends on the batsman choice. But tell me, they started to do protect the main batsman, who is a
Yes,
better batsman, and
yeah.
that the only reason was of bad light and these things at that time.
No, it is
Now,
all. It is
whenever
also
there
to.
is something,
No, but it's
but
also to protect the other batsman on the other end also, right? Night watchman is
Yeah.
not coming to protect the next
I mean,
batsman. He's coming to protect the batsman who's
I
batting at the
get
same.
it. But the other batsman is the better batsman.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
So
Venki, the
Hmm.
same thing I'll come back to you. Why? Because South Africa, when they got to bat in the second innings, they sent Maharaj in. You know what happened there? Elgar didn't take any strike, and when
Yeah,
Maharaj batted, he was actually applauding him taking the strike, doing well against Shami and Bumrah.
yeah.
What happened last ball of the day? An absolute cock of a Yorker, man.
But he did his
And
job, right?
you,
But he did
yeah,
his.
he did.
but
Yeah,
tell me something. Forget Maharaj. Any batsman from that lineup, or you give me any batsman in the world, that ball is still a plum.
true. My idea to say that was if a batsman was there, I mean Elgar, a left-hander was there, don't you think he could have batted it better than a tailender in a Maharaj right-hander against
Then
Bumrah?
send a batsman
No,
now who will bat it
no, but
better.
I don't think so. I think the
I
logic
don't
for night
understand
watchman.
the concept of night watchman. I still
See,
No.
disagree with
I think
this.
it
Okay, I tell
completely
you,
depends on the batsman.
it's very simple. Like, if you look at Maharaj coming in and he protected both Elgar and the next batsman, the night watchman strategy worked, even though
Yes.
he got out. So it's very simple. If he had not gotten, if Vander Dusen had come and they would have lost two wickets, it would have been even worse
I
for them.
understand. I understand what you guys are saying.
Hmm.
This concept of night watchman came when there was this bad light
No,
situations,
no,
when there
no.
was no light meters and batsmen are unable to see. Oh, the batsman is not as unable to bat at his full potential because of the situations. So if a wicket is supposed to fall, we can afford a lower order batsman.
True.
We can afford, and let's protect the batsman. I get that protection there.
I'll tell
This
you
is
a
fantastic.
simple analogy, Venki. If you're, I mean, Ashok comes here is saying, had it this been easy if you had lost the toss and they batted first. First, be happy that we won a toss after a long time. It was
Kohli
good
won
that
a
it went.
toss. Kohli
Yeah,
won a toss.
yeah. So I think it went good for from Indian point of view. Let's not debate, man. It can happen from Johannesburg where South Africa can do it, and we may have to come from behind and win. But to your point, if you had watched the recent Vijay Hazare series, Tamil Nadu sent at number 3 and number 4 two of their bowlers to protect their
Hmm.
batsmen. in Sai Kishore and Murugan Ashwin were sent out. You know what followed? They batted out 10-15 overs for not much runs, got out. DK, the Baba brothers, etc., came in, scored those tons, got to 300. So in that sense, the so-called night watchman, which is in Test cricket, was used very cleverly in the one-day format also. So
Yeah.
it's a kind of a strategy-wise. You can't say you should use it or not, but the choice and the duration, how much the night watchman bats, plays out which bowler, tires them out, all those things come into picture also. So let's
But you're telling
go.
me
Yeah.
this Karthik, this Baba brothers, they were not capable of batting slow or
No, it's
maintaining that.
just
Are you telling me
increasing.
that?
No, it's
It's
not.
giving him the best of
Frankly,
the
you're getting
circumstances, I
best
think.
condition and chances, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the thing is that they are better equipped, but they will do even better tomorrow. Think it that
Yes.
way rather than comparing it that way. If you have a choice, you just look in isolation that whether you want to
Mm.
prefer to bat now or tomorrow. Tomorrow is the
Yeah.
answer. So you choose that.
I get it. I get it that. But tell me, if some who would you send the best person? If I'm batting, I'd rather have a better batsman batting. Simple.
Venki, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the guy who's preferring that night watchman or not. If he's saying I am
Hmm.
going in, for example, if Virat Kohli was there, do you think he would say I want night watchman? He'll say I'll go in there and bat. Right? Pujara may say no, I may need it. So it depends. You have to respect both choices.
Like this is again. I like your own. Okay, okay. I won't be able to bat now. I'd rather bat tomorrow. Then why are you
Yes,
even batting?
but make sure when you
This
bat
just
tomorrow, you
makes.
bat well. That's all I'll say. So Ashu here says India didn't play what would widely be
Could
considered their first choice 11 in any of the Fortess, Gabba, Lords, Oval, Centurion. They did that in one game in Southampton, and we know. But Ashu, I'll counter that. They,
so
they
you mean to
batted
say never
the
pick the first 11?
no more than the first 11. The choice of bowling was wrong at Southampton. He was
Yeah.
a bit adamant and didn't change, even though the first day was rained out. Where maybe
Yeah.
a Siraj or somebody else could have been a better choice
Yeah, they
instead of one
announced
of
the
the
lineup two
spinners.
days ahead. That was the
Yeah,
biggest
I think
problem,
that
and
was a
then
bit
Hey.
stupidity,
Also, on the
honestly.
other hand, let's not blame bowling lineups or anything. The rain made a huge impact.
Yes.
If it was a regular match, proper 5 day match, we would have
Hmm.
won.
Yeah. But that's what we need to adapt to the conditions, is what I think
Yeah,
the
but
point
there
here
is no
is.
point in discussing that because
Yeah,
it
it's
was
over.
out
It's
of
done.
players. Yeah.
Hope you learned a lesson from that and improve. So second innings, well, India just came out and batted as quickly as possible to get 170 odd, so that they could get a good chance to bowl with 300 in the target, keeping the time in mind also. We got that wicket, and then again we saw what Bumrah did in the second innings, as rightly Bhasker said. Out of the 60 odd overs, 19 overs Bumrah bowled, Shami 16. So that was like half the bowling was done by them only, and equally good support from Siraj, who I think is improved leaps and bounds in the last year or so, since that last IPL and Australia series, where I think, just as Ashu said, Gabba Test, he was the lead bowler. And from there, where we are discussing why he wasn't picked in the WTC final, his performance in the England series, I think Mohammad Siraj has been the find of 2021 for me, for with respect to Team India's victories overseas, as well as even in the home series against England, where he was getting good wickets with that reverse swing also, and this newfound off cutter that he has developed nowadays with assistance from Bharat Tarun. Your thoughts on Mohammad Siraj coming of age?
yeah, so I think first of all, Siraj has a big advantage versus if you look at all other Indian bowlers, right? So Shami, Bumrah, Ishant, and Umesh, right? The other four bowlers, and even Thakur to that extent, they are all hit the deck bowlers. They are not swinging
Mm.
bowler like Bhuvneshwar in that way. So, and that is why him being there is very important because he adds variety. And if you look at Navdeep Saini also, who are played in Australia too, he is also
Mm.
kind of hit the deck bowler in that way. So it is therefore it is very important for Siraj to play because he gets that variety in the although all of them are right armers in that way. That way.
Mm.
Thakur obviously is playing because of his batting. And I think what Siraj has done is again he's coming from a very strong India A setup where he was
Yes.
consistently taking a lot of wickets, especially first cricket. So a lot of people who are not watching cricket so closely, they've seen Siraj in IPL getting slashed around from Bangalore, and they think that he's not that a great bowler. But he was actually fundamentally a red ball bowler, right? And
Yes.
somebody who does better in red ball than white ball.
I
I don't
think
think
I
he.
must credit Bhaskar sir to bring you up this point. I think we saw Sunny G speak about Siraj's I mean, lack of information basically on Mohammad Siraj's growth as a red ball bowler. So I am pretty thankful to you that you said Siraj's India A and domestic work is what got him into India Test team, not the
Yes.
IPL and
IPL.
white ball
Yeah,
stuff.
Gavaskar is not doing any like
Nah, he's
not
just
really
there
Zero
sure
for
about
research,
it.
honestly, I felt.
zero
Yeah,
research.
yeah, yeah.
I
Just
think
comment.
he asked someone put on the group also. He
Mike
was asking
Hazeman,
what is
Huh.
any
who was the
spinner or
spinner.
something. I mean, honestly, yeah.
What did he put? I don't know.
He was
He
asking,
asked,
is
"Is
there
there
any
any spinner
spinner?
in South African camp?"
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I was like,
Oh.
"That's
seriously.
your job. Exactly your job to know
No, not
what
to know, but to
options
do
the team."
research or ask the guys
Yeah.
to give him data in that way. So
I mean,
yeah, so
at
there
least
are.
before talking it on air, at least ask it
Hmm.
off air, man.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
worst was on the last day when I think one of the South African commentators said, "This is could it be the greatest Indian Test team?" The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
great, and he got so offended, like, "Oh, no, 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 there were like he took it on himself. No, no, we were better."
I don't think he said it. We are better. I think he said
No, no,
don't need to
he meant
compare
it that way. Is
the
what
eras. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I know what
I mean,
made it look like,
no
but
one
I
is
think he wanted to
taking
say
anything
something
away
else.
from me. Just say,
Yeah.
okay, it's this good team. They did well.
hmm.
I mean, credit to them, man. As I think Ashu said,
Yeah.
where first choice players were not there, winning at Gabba and other places, it's fantastic result to be honest.
Remember Shastri.
Big credit to
Gabba
Ravi
will
Shastri
not be
also.
repeated.
Yeah,
Gabba will not be repeated by any team in Australia.
yeah.
It's impossible. What we did there, it's
I mean, just look at what's happening at the
unbelievable.
Ashes, man. Same bowling attack, if
Unbelievable.
not slightly weakish. Hazelwood hasn't played. Cummins missed a test. Against that attack, Pujara was taking blows left, right, and center, batting out days, making it easier for the people coming in. Big kudos to these players, man. I think that mental fortitude was instilled by Ravi Shastri. No, honestly, credit to this Indian team
And a
for
lot
that.
of credit to Virat Kohli. A lot of
Exactly.
credit to Virat
It's his
Kohli. The
team, man. Test team.
mindset to come in and believe, no, no, we can win. We are not here to draw a test or just play a match. We are, know the Australian conditions. No, we are here to win. And after watching the Ashes, the greatest thing, the thing that I'm most impressed with is Vihari and Ashwin. They managed to draw
Sydney. 40 odd overs they
against
batted.
that lineup, that bowling lineup. Unbelievable. We are talking about accomplished batsmen from county unable to withstand.
Hmm. Keep the Ashes aside, man. It's a one-way traffic, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pawan here says, I've heard that South Africa curators for the Joburg test is trying to reduce the grass or keep no grass for the next test to make SA have an advantage. Will
What
this affect the
advantage?
India fast bowlers?
Yeah,
I
What
mean,
but
advantage?
how
honestly,
will this? Yeah,
What advantage?
I mean,
yeah,
irrespective of the pitch, I think this bowling attack has the skill set to get wickets, man. I mean, in India, you don't see grass. Here, Shami, Umesh, Siraj, etc., do pick wickets. If no advantage, look at the South African bowlers. They may not have any advantage with that extra inconsistent
yeah.
bounce
I
or
think
swing, etc.
no, but also I think
See,
that if you had the pitch has no grass, then spin becomes. And India has a better spinner, right? So it
True.
does not really make sense. And number one,
Ashwin will
uh,
kill.
and number one and number two, Indian batsmen will also love it. So I don't think there is like
Sir,
this is a trick with balanced team, right? You can't win anyways, right?
mm, if the pitch is good and flat, I tell you, two people will be damn happy.
Hmm.
Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane.
Yeah.
So if that's a good pitch given, I think these two will be the happiest.
No, no.
So
Happiest
let
will be R Ashwin.
R Ashwini will do well, man. Don't worry.
R
I'm talking
Ashwin
with
will be like,
respect.
oh, okay, I've got dinner,
In terms
breakfast,
of
dinner,
the
lunch, and
pressure on these players, I'm talking. These two are at a slightly boiling point
but
right
I
now.
like considering Johannesburg. I liked Ashutosh's comment. Will South Africa be able to break Indian Fortress
Yeah,
in
India has never
Johannesburg? They
lost a
have
test at Joburg,
never
by the
lost
way.
in Johannesburg.
They almost won in '97 when Rahul Dravid scored his first test 100. Bad light kind of got that
Really, yeah.
into, or else India was
Yeah,
winning that
but
test.
actually, right now, I think this Fortess thing, given how the COVID happening and so many things,
Hmm.
it's the low preparation happening. It's very unpredictable. I think all the stats which are there in this era are kind of going to be broken, right? Because Australia also is actually South Africa has won that 3 times in a row. India has won
Yeah,
twice in a row in that way. Obviously, English is not doing well, but South Africa also they lost to Sri Lanka 2 years back.
true.
Mm.
So I think. Most sides are vulnerable all the time right now, and I think
Hmm.
it is a pity that New Zealand does not play that much because they would like really.
I think that's one fortress that needs to be breached by this team India to complete a cycle. I'll say New Zealand
Yeah.
in Wellington, yeah, Christchurch or someplace
But
those.
I don't think they're playing them for next 2 years. So
Yeah, I mean this bowling attack on a good if they had enough
I hope not.
warm ups.
I hope not. Let's try and win the World Test Championship.
That'll
I
yeah,
happen,
want
yeah.
to Kohli to
man.
see a lift a cup, man. For all the things I criticize him, I want him to win that cup. that. Damn it!
Yeah, let's see, let's
Because
see,
that is
let's
the
see.
only cup he will win now. Is give up everything else. I
Very
want
good
him to
point from
take it.
Ashu here. We should never forget contribution Bharat Tarun. He made this fast bowling unit. Even in future, we might see better bowlers coming through the ranks. But this system, so I completely agree with Bharat Tarun's inputs. He has mastered, I'll say, the technical analysis of bowling in general, not just fast bowling or spin. Due credit, I think even Ravichandran Ashwin also said in terms of his attack bowling action also was a bit corrected by Bharat Tarun. So all these little inputs matter, man. That's what you're paid for, right? End of the day, support staff
One
has to do its
correction.
job. Yeah.
Only one correction to Ashutosh's comment. The system was not opened by Bharat. It was by Kohli. He
What's this
wanted
walk
fast
tech?
bowlers. He was very clear that
Yeah.
he wants fast bowlers. He the system he the requirement come from the captain. Okay, I want you to give me good fast bowlers. That's where the Siraj and the Shami is okay, these are the fast bowlers. When they got experience, they did well. And that's
Hmm.
where Bharat Arun's contribution is immense because he made
Yeah.
sure that everything is perfect. They are in the action, everything is not damaging them. They're not injury prone, making sure everything is in place. But the system was started by Virat Kohli. Dhoni could have
Yeah.
asked for this, but he
Dhoni
never.
preferred a lot of spin, I'll say.
Yeah, yeah,
In
that
yeah.
that was his captaincy style.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As a
I'm
captain,
credit man.
he
End of the
preferred
day,
it
we
to
are
him.
winning. So
Yeah, yeah.
everything
Nothing to
deserves
take away from
kudos.
Arun. Nothing to take away from Arun.
Yeah.
But
So let's say India just won. It's 1-0. Hope for making it 3-0 in the coming couple of tests also. Before that, I think let's come to a big news that happened yesterday. Quinton de Kock retiring from Test match cricket at the age of just 29. What do you think? I
politics.
mean, Pawan here is asking who's
Politics.
going to replace QDK as the next Test wicket keeping batsman. I think they have Kyle Verreynne and one more guy, Rai Richardson or someone who is
Yeah.
in the squad right now. I'm not sure about their keeping abilities. I've not watched them. Venuja also had asked a similar question here. QDK already said he's not available. Yeah, I think he was for that paternity leave he was going. He has
Yeah.
come out
So
and said it's because of family reasons and stuff. How much of politics? Because I remember
Lot
the
of politics.
no, I no, but
2020 World Cup,
no, but I
he
don't
didn't
think.
take the knee and stuff happened. Do you think all
Yeah.
these factors
No,
combined?
no, I think if
Definitely.
you have, I don't think so. I think Quentin de Kock, if you look at his career, right, he's like a guy who does not take any stress, just goes on his
Hmm.
way, are prone to criticism, right? So he's the one who, and obviously the whole franchise circuit, which is so attractive to them. And I think, there is a time when people don't enjoy Test cricket, right? Dhoni also retired, in 2013, 14, 6 years before he actually retired from international cricket. And he's playing. So there's come to a point where you're not enjoying Test cricket in that way. And then De Kock, I think, also if you look at it, it has become very tough for batsmen, right? So people who like in Rahul also said that he started enjoying hitting the white ball a lot. So I
Hmm.
think all those factors plus family and with COVID, I think COVID is a big factor in my view that this bubble is not very easy for him. And I think I don't know whether you guys have done quarantine, but you try to do quarantine for 10 days and you see how difficult it is
Yeah,
mentally.
yeah, it's very.
So to me, this COVID itself has actually kind of frustrated. I don't think. Also, De Kock, like just like Butler, uh, he has got much more value to if he goes to
Hmm.
franchise for himself also in that way. And then if he's not enjoying Test cricket, then so be it. Right? There are a lot of people who don't enjoy Test cricket. That's what my thing is. That with COVID, it makes sense for somebody to have mental health at a priority, and I think that is very important for a player rather than judging them on money and stuff like that. It's a family decision, it's a
Yeah.
COVID decision. I actually respect that he is actually, and there were a lot of things written in the South African press that a break will do him good, he will come back refreshed. So people could see he's being jaded given the amount of bubbles he has been, and like this is like his eighth bubble or something what I read. So
Yeah.
it depends on the mental fortitude of people. Some people can take it, some people cannot, and I think it's a decent decision. It's a sad decision. Anyway, you are not going to play the test two and see. I think and I think it's a good way that he has made a decision in the series, so they can look for continuity now. Otherwise, they would have gone for a stopgap solution.
Yeah, I mean, Ashu here saying
Also,
Virat
like
joins
I
Ponting and
completely
Smith.
agree with you, Bhaskar sir, but we cannot be too naive about it. Also, right? We are
Forty
talking
test
about a guy
wins.
who has been he's the leading run scorer for South Africa. When we are comparing to MS Dhoni, who left in between, the guy has not been scoring runs from a long time. Like 1.5, 2 years, he was not scoring runs. Makes sense. Okay, okay. It doesn't look like okay. I'm doing well, not enjoying the game. Makes sense then. He's been the leading run scorer for the country,
Yeah,
and
but
and we
leading some
cannot
scorer
ignore the
doesn't.
recent politics also.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, but the leading scorer and enjoying is totally two different things. In my view, if you have talented like Decock, you can be not interested also, and you come and play that way. I
So,
think
but
it's
if you look at in a devil's advocate, if I can say, you need to have a proper backup also before you can retire, right? I don't see any another wicket keeping option that South Africa has in Test cricket at least. Kyle
At least
Verreynne and
ready,
some, at least ready.
ready.
Rickleton, Klaassen is what I think Ashu here
class.
Hmm.
said.
Yeah,
But I don't
Klassen.
see them having a good 4 day record or anything to come into the test team and perform at least as much or as good as what Decock did.
hey, then obviously you are not going to have a ready-made backup. But I think if a player is mentally short, there is no way you can convince him. That's what I'm saying. That
Mm.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is, to
definitely.
me, that is the
Since
number one factor to me. Like all other factors become, like Ben Stokes also did not play the India series, right? That's
True.
very important to me. So and then you can see that when he came back, also he's not the same. I would not say he's not the same player. He tries hard and all that, but it's just difficult. So it's not easy to be in a mental. Thing. And if he was feeling the pressure, and then he and his wife decided that this is the best decision for him, I think it's more important to be happy and performing well rather than looking at the obligations you have. So,
by the way,
Yeah.
Klassen played
a
one
test,
match, one
yeah,
test match in India,
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and
in
he
India,
scored
yeah,
11
I
runs
think
only.
Ranchi or somewhere. I think he played right.
Ranchi.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Played only
Shabazz Nadim
one,
was getting him easy,
three catches, one stumped. That's all. And I don't think they're getting him after like
and
three
I don't
years
think
now.
he's in this squad also right now. So I think one of
No.
Kyle Verreynne or Rick Rickleton will come in to replace Decock. Sorry, not Ryan Rickleton. Yeah.
Hmm.
So let one more thing here is Virat Kohli has 40 test wins now. I think as Ashu said, he's joining Waugh, Ponting, and who else? Smith in the category of more. He's in the fourth joint highest test match victories. So Virat Kohli's test credentials, I think, should keep going up only from here. I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
considering
having
again, what are they giving him?
yeah, and man, hopefully that's the only thing left now. The Test Championship since ODI and T20s, he has left the captaincy. Hope for the best, and at least as Venki said, one more cup at least, man.
One,
At least
one,
one, at least
one
one
cup,
cup.
one cup.
Ah, yeah. Let's not talk about something that we use here in RCB. That line. Okay. Okay. Here, one more thing is KL Rahul. Yeah, 7 tons in his Test career and 6 are at overseas. He has tons in the Sena countries. I think New Zealand. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
in
well, he's
West
not played.
Indies, Sri
He
Lanka.
has never played
Yeah,
a test in New Zealand. So,
yeah. Not yet at least. Yeah. So on KL Rahul, do you think the opening combo at least should be sorted right now if Rohit Sharma returns? And I think even my Bhasker says that maybe a Mayank at 3 at times also can be an option. So
But like,
Rahul
if
in
you're
general.
putting, if you're looking for number three, why not Panchal? Is my question. Like, if you're not recommending, if you're not getting this players and then the whole domestic circuit is pointless.
no,
I
it's
won't
not
say
pointless.
pointless.
These
I think
no,
it's
no,
showing the
No,
bench
no,
strength.
no,
I'll say Vinky.
no, no. Bench strength is fine, but will the players come in?
no,
But
but
today,
there's no, Venki, you don't understand. There's a concept of a career player and a concept of a backup player.
yeah,
So Panchal and all people who are coming like Scott Boland, right?
yeah,
But he played domestic cricket for 10 years, and then he
yeah,
gets one chance and he performs. That is the kind of
and he's
performance
not
you
sure
want.
we'll play the next test.
Yes, exactly. That is why your domestic cricket is dead. When
But
there's
tell me,
injury, when there's COVID
as a
situation,
cricketer, as a domestic cricketer, if today a guy is coming in Indian domestic circuit, the
yeah.
purpose why he's playing the games is to get selected in the national team.
Yeah, yeah. So that is it. But you should
And
be good enough, na? So to me, the thing is that if you look at this guy like Prithvi
look at
Shaw,
his
Shubman Gill,
numbers: 100 matches, 7,000 runs. Internationally, the guys are what 50 matches, 2,000, 250, 2,500 runs are
Ashu,
coming.
just see,
no,
Panchal is 32, is saying, but I don't
yeah,
think age nowadays is such of a number in terms
yeah.
of
But
fitness and stuff.
Agrawal is 31. Agrawal is
Yeah,
31. If you're giving Agrawal a chance, why not Panchal? Is
No,
my
no,
question.
but he will get a chance if there are two injuries. He will play the test match. Right? He's a
yes,
backup
that's what I'm
player.
saying.
Play. The
If you
reason why
see,
you're in the squad is because if there is a chance you will play, you have equal chance of playing. But you are down the pecking order. KL Rahul also got a chance
exactly,
because
only because
my
Mayank got injured.
got injured. So it's not that you can say why are you Rahul is in the squad anyway. So that is the whole logic
No,
of the
no,
squad, right?
Nani, I get that. My
Huh,
question is,
huh.
the everyone has a. I get it. Panchal is a backup, but he's a backup as a middle order batsman in the team.
No,
When
he's
if
an
No,
you're
no,
opener. He's an
backup
opener.
no,
opener,
no,
opener.
it's a middle order batsman.
He's an
No,
opener.
The guy,
Hundred
he's a
percent, he's
opener.
an opener for Gujarat.
Ishwaran and Panchal are openers for India A
Yes,
also.
India
They're
A.
going to
Then
That's
take
what I
that.
said.
Yeah.
then
In
tell me what if Pujara and Rane gets injured tomorrow,
Huh.
and
Vihari and Iyer are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like I like I may be a bit biased, but I still feel like these players, until unless this players like Panchal and all these domestic guns who have scored tons of runs in the domestic circuit, they get chance on national team. We will see a lot of players again. What is happening with South Africa? We'll see these players okay applying and
No,
going out
but we have
but
No,
given
playing.
no, no.
chance to all the domestic players. Na? Prithvi Shaw scored a lot. Shubman
He
Gill was
got,
averaging
yeah.
I'll
60.
completely disagree with Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi Shaw got chance after that under 19 World Cup. I'm not talking about these guys who are coming after under 19
No,
directly into the national
no,
team. I'm
you're
talking
not
about the
following the
domestic
first
guys.
class cricket.
I'll give you two examples.
Yeah,
Shahbaz Nadeem was the second
yeah.
highest wicket taker after Mohammad Siraj. He got to
Hmm.
play a couple of tests against South Africa, and we have not seen him after that, unfortunately.
No,
Because
against
Jadeja
England
and
he
Ashwin are
played.
there.
Chennai he
Yeah,
played.
in Chennai he played. I mean, that was also because one of them was injured. Jadeja was
Yeah,
injured.
Aksar was injured.
Aksar didn't play the. Aksar also was injured.
Aksar was
And
injured. Aksar was injured.
and same thing happened in that last series against New Zealand.
Yeah.
Jayant Yadav played.
Yeah.
Why? Or else we had
Yeah, but
not seen Jayant Yadav for last 4 years. We may not see him
like these
again
players
also.
need to come more, is what I'm saying. We are
No, but
giving
Yes.
chances.
how are you going to come
Only
more?
when your first class players are out of form, yeah, injured or COVID, etc., these backup players will not get in. I think that's the communication that needs to be said from the
No,
management to
but
these kind of players also.
no, but that is also true, right? It's for so many years when your backup players get a chance, even Karun
Ashu said the
Nair.
perfect line. That's the ugly truth.
True. I
No,
agree
no,
to
but
you. It's
that way the
ugly truth,
Karun
but
Nair should have been given a long run and Rahane should have never
Exactly.
come back.
true, he should have, but he's not. He should
No, no,
have.
no,
He's not.
no. That's not how cricket works. The
Yeah,
cricket, I'll tell
exactly.
you
I
a
agree.
reason why. Because if you let people who are injured not get their place back, then nobody will. Even they are half injured, they will keep playing because they know that they can never come back. That is why cricket had this rule or an understanding that if the player who is incumbent and injured, he will automatically take his place. Because what
Yes.
was happening in the 60s and 70s was that all the players were always playing
Hmm.
even they were half injured, and that has a very bad precedent for the team because you're playing with 50, 60 players. That's why all the team decided that this is the better for the long run. So now what you're saying is that okay, then everybody should play in the injuries, right? Because why would you give your place to them? It has, you should also think
I,
the other side
I'm
of
not
it.
talking about once people have gotten in. My issue is with the inclusion of this 18, 19 year olds directly as the next things like what how a Shaw, how a Gill, or for a lot of time how a Nagarkoti and Mavi were looked at. Oh no,
I
fair
tell
enough,
you,
you're good,
Venki,
but get
that's
into the
because the
circuit.
media puts so much focus on these
That
guys,
is the issue.
right?
Like
No, no,
Earlier
but
days, media wasn't so heavy
no,
on
but
these players.
no, but you should also look at it how team selection happens. Right? Team selection is happening
Mm,
at two levels. The first is that people are looking at generation players. So
mm,
people who can play test cricket for 10, 12 years, that is it. So that is basically based on talent. So that there are two ways to look at the
mm.
talent. One is that you look at a player under 19 level and he looks very talented, you select him. That's a punt, obviously. The second is the player is performing so much better than everybody like Lakshman and all these people who scored so many runs in their level, right?
Ranji
In
Trophy.
Ranji, like Mayank Agarwal did. Then you can select them. Now, these are the two players which are how the selection is happening. So,
Yeah.
all the teams are actually selecting 20-year-old. Like, why do you think
like
Cameron
that
Green is in the
that is
team?
that is where my issue is. Like today we are talking about how will we take until someone is injured. We took
So,
a risk with Shubman Gill and getting him into the opening, right?
Mm.
We took a risk. It was a gamble. Whether
no,
it
no,
will
no,
work, it
it's
will
not a
not. We're
risk.
talking about international games.
No, it's not a risk.
But my
He's
question
a
is,
domestic average
tell
of
me at
70.
that point,
70.
tell
His
me,
average.
Yeah.
give me an
uh,
answer. When Shubman Gill was selected, there was not a single opening batsman in the domestic circuit who did not deserve that chance.
no, but he was averaging 70 in domestic cricket. How you can.
Not just domestic
He,
cricket. He had
yeah.
a fantastic A tour into West Indies.
Yeah. So he's
Everything is
performing like
fine. Again, my question is, why was Shubman Gill selected for a
because
nothing against Shubman Gill? I'm not saying
Performance.
that. Okay,
because of
then
performance, sir, because he's so much better than everybody else in
Yes.
domestic cricket. He's already showing you that he's above the average. So therefore, you have to select him. Panchal is
And
showing it. Mayank Agarwal
yes,
took him 7 years to show that.
true.
After Mayank Agarwal scored 1500, it's not that Mayank Agarwal did not have talent. It took him 7 years to show that he's much better than everybody else. Shubman Gill
Yes.
did in the first year. Prithvi Shaw
And
did in the
also,
first
sir,
year. Yeah.
to add on, where
Yeah.
did he score the runs? In Mohali,
Yeah.
Haryana, those seeming conditions where every other batsman in that team was struggling to get 20. This guy is scoring 150. So that also comes into picture where you scored, against what conditions, what teams, big quarterfinals, semi-finals. That's where Mayank scored. The big matches, these guys were performing. That shows temperament, which selectors all look into it. Not just the amount of runs, the kind of runs, where you scored, opponent, all these factors. So that's how I think all these factors come into picking any player.
Yeah.
It just makes me sad that a lot of our domestic, we have thousands of players, then
Yeah,
hardly
True,
anyone we
Venki, but
sell.
that's the
That is
truth.
true. But India is
That's
30
truth.
teams, right? We have that is what you call depth, right? There are only
Exactly.
going to be 11 in the team. That is you. If
Like,
you are
I'm
going
just
for it,
worried in future all
you
these
should
guys
also
are like,
it should also make you sad that only 1% in India can become prime minister in 1.4 billion, whereas only one in New
no.
Zealand there are 4 million people, right? It's the same logic,
And
right?
let me agree with you. I am. Given the state
Well
of my
said.
country right now, I am.
But at least the cricket is not disappointing, right? So just be happy for that, man.
Let's be happy, man.
Ah.
Ah,
Okay,
damn, man.
Ashu here as a fun fact. Gilchrist played only 10 matches at the age of 20 and QDK is retired at the same age. What to say, boss?
Ah,
I think it's anyway, so it's their decision, just respect and move on. Wish him the
yeah,
best.
yeah,
By the way, one more retirement happened. Announcement of retirement. Ross Taylor from New Zealand.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
played over 100 matches in
Legend.
all the three formats. A complete legend of New Zealand cricket. He hit the winning runs for them at the WTC final also. So this summer will be his last in international cricket. I think he's playing Bangladesh for a couple of tests and few ODIs against Australia as well. I think Netherlands is also touring New Zealand, I guess. So end
Yeah,
of
yeah.
this summer, February, March, we'll see Ross Taylor say goodbye to international cricket. As an RCB fan, mind you, that first couple of season when RCB wasn't so good a team, Ross Taylor was one of the only hopes we had. That slot to mid wicket is an
Yeah.
something that none of us will ever forget. Ross Taylor, Mark Boucher, Dale Steyn. That was a fantastic team that we had. Jacques Callis also to add to that.
And
So Ross Taylor,
thanks for
wishing him the
getting
best.
Mark Boucher. Thanks for
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
Mark Boucher.
we used to win
After
very
Mark
little at
Boucher,
that time, man.
Quinton Deck. No,
Yeah.
not talking about RCB.
Okay,
From
South
Mark
Africa.
Boucher, Quinton de Kock was
On par.
not disrespecting, but already an like a lower
Yeah.
replacement we got, and now there is no one.
I don't know what's going to happen to South Africa cricket. I think the other day we were just discussing who do you think, say, a few years down the line, Test cricket will have? I feel India, England, Australia, some extent Pakistan maybe. Do you feel these other teams? I can say South Africa, West Indies, Sri Lanka also. I
West Indies
don't
is
know.
good.
Uh,
I'm very excited about Sri Lanka because
Sri Lanka.
they are
That's what.
getting
If
this
they get the
good players
administration
again.
right, they can. But that's a big question mark currently. I'll say. So I
But
don't see
one thing we
much
have to
Test cricket
agree,
happening.
one thing we have to all have to agree, the amount of chances a Sri Lankan player is to getting has improved a lot. There are
Thankfully.
less droppings from the team now.
Yeah.
Now today we are talking about all the Vanindu Hasarangas and these guys. We are
Don't you
watching them
think
because
a
they're getting
little
chance.
credit to someone called Mickey Arthur is to be called here?
Pawan will commit suicide.
No. I'm pretty sure Pawan will respect because Mickey Arthur has done a good job. I don't know
Yeah,
if
he did a
Dim
good
and
job.
Aman will be so happy about us talking about Mickey though.
Okay. Anyways, I think we're
Definitely
talking
great goes
about
to him.
Yeah.
Ross Taylor. Yeah, I think obviously, I think Ross Taylor already said that he wanted to retire after 2019 World Cup.
Yeah.
After if they had won the World Cup, right? So it was
Yeah.
coming, and then obviously after what WTC Championship, I think he kind of fulfilled his dream of winning the thing. And I think it's he's played for like a long time. He's like a top run getter in that way. So it's a good time to retire
I mean,
and land on
somewhere
top.
in this India series, I don't think he looked himself. Some very average dismissals I felt to Ross Taylor, honestly. So I think there was some kind of a decline happening. I felt he
Yeah, which
thought
is
maybe
with the age and hand-eye
exactly.
coordination, he
Yeah.
would know that, and then
I mean, I still remember
preparation.
his 290 he scored against Australia at the Waka, man.
Yeah,
Against
for
Johnson
sure.
and co. Fantastic 290.
Yeah.
And let's not
So,
forget the centuries he scored when his eyesight was not perfect.
yes, I think he worked on that. He
He
got
did.
some operation or something, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
As
yeah. But he
Virupa
realized,
calls,
and
Darji. To him. So, let's see. Ashu has a fact saying Gary Custon has shown interest in coaching England.
Yeah. England test team. He said that he cannot do both jobs together because there's too much traveling, but he's willing to take England from the bottom up. So that's what he said. That it's a good project to have when team is so shit.
I like these coaches, man, who are taking these tough jobs. Okay, your team is pathetic. Let me build you. These are the
But that
coaches
is
I
a
should
win-win
root out
situation.
for.
Na? If the team
Yeah.
does well, then you take all the credit. Internally, they were hopeless anyways. Whereas if the
No, but
other
who is
way,
taking the
that
gap? Who is
So
willing
don't
to
you
take that
think
gamble
sometimes
also?
changing personnel will change results? Do you think honestly, coach
no,
or captain changing?
It's all
no,
vision.
I
It's
think
all vision. We know
no,
Rory
but
Burns is a fantastic player.
no, but I think honestly, like Silverwood has done
I
lot
love
of
it.
like he made mistakes. Like one is
Huge
there on the
mistakes.
on selection, but the biggest mistake he made is he came back and gave an interview that I would have chosen the same team again, yeah, which
Yeah,
was even
they
more
are not
ridiculous.
accepted mistakes.
Yeah, which is more ridiculous. And I think Peter Moore got sacked by saying we will look at that later, and then it got headed data, and then he got taught. Ashley Giles got sacked for these and reasons. So English coach is a very high profile job, right? They expect to win most of things, and I think they will have a lot of changes will be there.
I think after Ashes, as you said, a lot of changes will happen. I'm pretty sure about that.
In fact, they are
And
saying
it's
that they
not
are
the
four.
losses, it's the way they have
Kind of
lost.
loss. Yeah.
No, but
The way they
the
have lost. Like,
fourth and fifth test also they're saying they'll do more changes like Rahul batting lineup.
I mean, I heard Silver's some close contact COVID positive or something, so he won't be traveling to Sydney.
Yeah,
Travis Head has tested positive, so
David
again
Boone.
he, David Boone. I
Yeah.
think I don't know who is left now. So let's see who's gonna play and what's happened for the Fortess in Sydney. So let's
I
just
mean,
conclude.
forget the
Yeah.
Ashes now. Just give the chances to the guys who are in squad. Let them have a go. Let them get some experience. Just look at it that way and close. The Ashes ego has gone down the drain now.
I honestly, Sydney is a damn good batting pitch there. 400, 500 maybe on cards if Labuschagne and Smith get their eyes in.
No, but do
I'm
you
not
think
even.
they will pay Swepson because it's a spinning pitch? They may
No,
with
no, no,
Cameron.
no.
No, they can play Swepson. I think.
Sir, I think if you say yesterday's, not yesterday, I think day before the BBL game, that pitch at Sydney was seeming left, right, center.
Yeah,
100
but
all out was Brisbane, and these guys were 8 down for
was
40
47
or.
for 47
Yeah,
for
still
8,
they chased.
and Sean Abbott scored
Shan Abbott
victory.
and one goal there. What's this? Dwash,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
that's it.
So I'm not sure how well
Hmm.
the Sydney pitch will be. It won't be definitely spinning so much. Who is this Bernie Spears? Walk Tech? Yeah,
No
kindly
idea.
elaborate whatever you written, man. So I think that's about it. I think we covered the first test. So hoping more of
Everything,
the
everything.
same, yeah, same intensity in the second test at Joburg and following at Cape Town as well. So let's see how well Team India goes. Recently, in the past, we have seen after a win in overseas condition, immediately the second test has not been so good. So hopefully that habit is nullified and we start doing performing better at the following test matches also. And of course hope that famed batting trio scores some good runs and answers a few critics also. So this is something I'm
We are
definitely hoping. Yeah,
hoping from a couple of years, man.
yeah, man. That's why hope is on. दुनिया चलती है उम्मीद से. So let's see. Thanks you, Bhasker sir and Venkat for joining us on the sports breakdown.
Yes.
So, and by the way, guys, it's New Year's Eve. Wishing you all happy New Year in advance and stay safe as well. And I know this 2021 has been a tough one to go through, but fantastic cricket is what we have covered. And sports breakdown has come to you on this 2021 only, and all of us have met and have enjoyed some wonderful video
Uh,
chats here on various aspects since India, Sri Lanka, IPL, LPL, and whatnot, Ashes, everything we have covered, and T20 World Cup, by the way, was all fantastic. Some great fun times. Yes, Ashu, happy New Year to you guys. Is for wishes from all the people here at the Sports Breakdown. Thank you for a fantastic 2021, and wishing more. We bring fantastic cricket coverage to you in the coming year 2022 as well. So thank you all for your support,
yes.
subscribing, and everything. Stay safe. Take care of your loved ones, yourself, everything. Cricketism at its best. Yes, man. So
Just one
thank you
announcement
all.
I have to
Yeah,
make.
yeah,
I'll
Venki.
be starting my channel only on quiz purposes and maybe some of the other. I'm thinking of some other games, like other things also. Some
Okay,
fun things, not just watch alongs there. One quiz I'm planning. Probably I'm looking at 4 people. So Bhaskar sir, I'll let you know whenever what are the dates. You can just join.
Yeah.
It will be fun. Like I'll put some point systems and see. We'll
Venki.
make it
One
like a
question.
match.
Any prizes?
Uh,
Some motivation needs to be.
uh, so what prizes?
Isala,
Is
Isala
Allah
Kakila.
is Allah. Is all good. Let's think about it. I don't
just
know whether I
it's joking,
can,
man.
but
Yeah.
let's no, but it's a good thing. At least I'll make something. I'll give you some cup. Some
Okay,
quick
Ashu, you will
Premier
get
League.
some cup this time.
Actually, you will get some cup.
He
RCB
asked,
fan
no,
and
he
you
said
think I will.
question mark.
Hey, also another thing. Maybe we'll discuss it once we are off
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
We
Chalo,
done?
then
Yeah.
yeah, you're done. Vengala Kinniya. Aituma.
Vengalakini. Ee sala Vengalakini.
Okay, chalo. Thank you all. Thank you, Bhasker sir and Venki. Will discuss offline, right? Right. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, we'll
Thank you.
just end it.